near miracle today. It is, carry the 4 square root of 2, 40 degrees outside right now, and 45 degrees in the greenhouse. So we've had a really cloudy day, lots of, so this hasn't been able to do its thing. But I am going to do this. Turn this guy on a little bit so we can kick off some heat a little bit. I'm just going to turn it on. But anyways, good to see y'all on here. We're in the greenhouse. I've got a lot of stuff to do. Not a lot of stuff, but it's the work getting prepared for our January live streams here in the greenhouse. So for those that don't know, my name is Ryan Howe, up here in the Northern Michigan greenhouse, where we go through everything you can think of as far as for the prep, the work, the pruning, the transfer, the transplanting, the additional pruning, the work to get all of our flowers and our vegetables ready for growing here in Michigan. So again, love to have you on here. If you like to learn all about those things, feel free to subscribe. I'm actually going to turn the camera around here so that way we are this way, because I'm going to be watching from my other camera here. There we go. And following along on the chat. Again, something I haven't done in a while, but I want to make sure I had it there. So it's good to see everyone. Yep, I'm on there. Great. Let's do this thing. So today, a few things that I have to do that, let me actually do this down here a little bit. There we go. A few things we have to do here. So a big portion of what I'm getting set up here is going to be the overhead view for the actual cameras and stuff that I have going on here. Because what we actually do is I have a camera when we're broadcasting. It isn't on mobile. We are going to be spending time, and we're going to actually have an overhead view of all of our stuff that we have here. So bigger thing, make sure this thing is right side. Looks like it's correct. I think we're good. And yep, there it is. Good. But so when we have things like this, right, and these are just some of our lettuce that I have growing for the chickens, that when we are coming in and pruning this, you guys get to watch from the overhead view. So part of that is, getting this set up. On our last stream, we got the lights set up here so I could kind of get them going and just see how I like this. So far it's working pretty good here. So it's good to have, welcome everybody. Hey, do me a favor, when you hop in the chat, be sure that you let us know where you're from. Love to hear where people are from. I'm up here in Northern Michigan. Okay. So a portion of what we're doing is we ran this through, the light system worked like I wanted it to. So now we are, hello. What's up, Lucas? Welcome. Where are you from, Lucas? We're going to be reorganizing this, because what I like to do. So, oh, thank you. Yeah, we're working on it. Like, that's the thing as far as the setup. That's what today is. We got to move some things around here. Like we did the setup of the lights here, but I'm going to be moving stuff down here. And the reason for that is really simple, is that from China. Okay, great. Good to have you on here. Because what I want to have is, we'll be talking here. It's kind of hard to see this, but once I get my laptop out and show you, you'll be able to see me here in a small picture. Think of it like Twitch, right? If you guys ever watch Twitch and streaming, or like you've watched a gamer, I'll be down in the lower corner over on this side, and then you'll have a big picture overhead view of all the stuff that we have here. Of like we were saying, working on these things when we're pruning, etc. So awesome, great, good to see everybody in here. Love it. So again, if you like stuff that has to do with gardening, if you like to have stuff doing with working in the yard, in the garden, things like that, this is the stream for you. Be sure to subscribe and make sure you hit that like button. And again, I hope to earn your subscription. I don't expect you to subscribe just to subscribe. I hope to earn it by, obviously doing the work with y'all here. So but anyways, a big portion of today is really just kind of getting this organized here. I want to move everything down, and this is going to be where my basically the chain of lights are going to be at for this section here, and then I'm going to have more down at the bottom here on this area over here. So a few things we got to do. So whales, okay, awesome. So let me get back to this. There I am. All right. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Appreciate it. And again, we've been in here quite a bit, but like I say, in the last stream was really just kind of testing this out and make sure it was going to be going at the rate I want. So I have, if you go onto the page, onto the channel's page, I posted a picture of like 4 in the morning, and you can't really see anything except for this place all lit up. Like it's just bright and everything here. So a lot of good stuff there. I have Let's do this. I don't know. All right, I'm just checking something. I had something just pop up here. Sorry about that. Okay, we're good. And we're off to the races. Okay. All right, well, good. So anyways, big part of this here, and this is a bigger piece of this, guys, is like I'm in my greenhouse. We're up in northern Michigan. We got snow everywhere right now, but we've got a lot less. We had almost 3 feet of snow over the course of about a month that had, we were maybe about 2 feet deep, maybe 2 feet, 18 inches, 20 inches, give or take. And then we just had this wave of heat and rain come through and absolutely just wiped everything out. So we're down to basically nothing. We got a little snow overnight, which is good, but the temperatures are still freezing. Like you're saying, it's 40 today, which is great, which I'm definitely a big fan of. But man, we've been down in the teens and single digits again. So I'm taking advantage of this temperature while I can to get this done. So we'll be ready going into January when we're going to be starting on some of our perennials and getting them rolling, because they take a little bit of extra work. They're a little fussy, a little temperamental. So I want to have that here. So, but yeah, it's good stuff. Trying to figure. Oh, the chickens, God bless them. They have been having an absolute blast. Actually, we'll go take a look at them real quick, because I think a lot of folks are familiar with the chicks around here. So let's go out here. You can see they're actually out and about. They have not been very happy because they've been stuck inside that thing in the run for a while. So that's Honey Mustard. Say hi everyone. So but I went and cleared them a little space here and down to that little covered spot over here so that they could go dig around a little bit. But we've had just tons of snow packed up in here. As you can see, we're getting that muddy green mess here going. So it's kind of nice. And nice to have that back up. And I'm just happy for them to be out, because man, they were just stuck in that run for a considerable amount of time. Let's just say that. For a considerable amount of time. All right. So back to what I was saying here. What we're going to be working on here is I'm going to be moving this light over here. And then we're going to be setting up my other lights, which I have here. Right here, I got another set of light here, these smaller ones. We're going to be running those down across here. But first, we're going to move this down. We're going to get my computer set up. Then we'll worry about the lights down here, okay? So yeah, good to have everybody on here. What's up, Mark? Good to have you. Good to see you. Welcome. We are just bringing my other camera or my phone with me here so I can keep up with everyone. And tomorrow I have to go get another timer. That does have to happen. I am timerless at the moment, or I have a timer, but it basically runs all the time because the temperature's been below freezing. So I have to keep the to keep the water thawed for the chicks outside. But because of that, everything's hit. So it is what it is. So we're gonna set this guy up right here and then right here. So for those that haven't been here while we're doing this, what we have when you get these. Again, my greenhouse that I have here, when you buy the modular versions that they have, that you can just kind of build out, they come with these aluminum ribs, right? Support ribs. And they have this 1/4-inch slot where you can buy these clips right here. And they have these little, I don't know, tear shaped or whatever, sine wave looking wedge things that you can clip right in. And they can be used to hold up stuff, right? That's kind of what they're designed for. So it's nice to be able to have that. So, hey, from Florida, oof, good for you. You must be enjoying the weather. We have been a little frigid, to say the least, around here. So congratulations on the W for the weather. We'll say that much. And then, so what I'm gonna have to do here, because I want this light all the way on the end for these guys here, I can only use one clip. I'll just store this one up here for right now, and I'm gonna have to do some wire. So it's the usual stuff here, guys. I'll bring you guys down, kind of hang out with me while I'm doing this. So I'm not at the far end of the greenhouse. Whoops. Come on now. There we go. Come on. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everybody. Doing this in real time here. So No happy smoke up in this one. We don't do electric lettuce in this one, but thank you for asking. I do have a, that is one of, you can pretty much set a timer, I would say. Right, because it's this. I would say you can set your watch to the stream that usually by about within the first 10 minutes, I'm gonna have somebody asking me if I'm growing any electric lettuce in here. It's funny because it's every single time. But no, I don't have that. And frankly, in my area too, oh, thank you for that. Yeah, appreciate the yes, that's what he's talking about when the electric lettuce. Yeah, yeah. And it's just one of those things that folks ask me about this here, and it's nothing that I necessarily grow, but it's plentiful in the area. I think is probably the better way to say that for you guys right now, is that it's plentiful in the area. So there's no need to grow, because one, I can purchase, but I can, guess what? I can also trade. I grow enough stuff where I can trade. So you use that information you usually fit. So, thank you. Yes, every one of those words are things that absolutely is in this area that I don't have growing here. So I got electric lettuce from Letterkenny back in the day when Letterkenny first came out. That's what they referred to it as. I thought that was great. But anywho, so for those that don't know, when we're talking about, again, with the light system that we have, these are full spectrum lights that I have here. Again, they're grow lights. You can get them. I got this off of Amazon. It is 4 foot. It's basically 4 foot long. And what is this? 72 watts is where it's at. So the idea here is simply just to have this wired up over here to be able to support this. And I'm going to have stuff growing down on this end, which is going to free me up when we are going to be doing our display. So yeah, today's kind of like a setup day on the stream for those that haven't been here for a minute. So that it is, not our normal where we're actually in here doing growing and building stuff out. Sometimes you got to do the maintenance, but I wanted to be able to show you guys, and it's a big part of what I do on this channel is I try to show as much of what I do and not do stuff behind the scenes, if that makes sense for y'all. Come here now, because I find that there's a lot of folks that miss out on what this goodness is actually all about. And, I figure it just helps people out. So again, if this isn't your jam, I get it. But if you do like stuff having to do with gardening and growing, this is absolutely the channel you want to be on. So hopefully earn your subscription. You can learn a little bit more about the stuff that I do here too as we go on. So no, actually I have it's one of the things that I did intentionally is I have gosh, how many megawatts is that thing? I think I have 6.5 on the house. And so my electric bills are normally like $35. During the winter, it's a little bit higher, but I think this year or this last year in January or I think it was February, which was the coldest and also the cloudiest month that we had. I think my bill spiked up to like $75. But I also run a lot of the electricity out of this. I have it's on the north side here. I have my shed. I've got a 200 watt system on there as well with lithium batteries and an inverter that I run power in here too. So I really try to do everything I can to have Mother Nature and sunlight do everything. But like I said, there's only so much you can do when it comes to up here. We don't get that much sun. Like today, the sun came up at 8:17. And it's going to be down here in, I'd probably say 2 hours, hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. So, I'm racing against the clock here, as they would say. There's this guy here. So I've got to have that over here. So what we're going to do. So yeah, that was the one thing when I talk to folks, then they ask, like, hey, what can I do to minimize my, my costs and everything. And one thing you have to understand is that if you're up here, you're going to have an electric bill. It's just what happens it's just what happens out here, that you're going to have an electric bill if you want to have stuff growing. It's just this time of year. So the sooner you can just come to terms with that, the better it's going to be for you. And that was definitely me, something I had to come to grips with. I do not like, there we go. There we go. I don't like spending money unless I have to. And in this case, there we go. Kind of have to here. Yeah, lots of sun. You should be able to be great. Now, the one thing I would tell you with a greenhouse in Florida is make sure that you have these vents like I do up on either side here. I haven't blocked off this side for insulation, this side with the bubble wrap, but make sure you have your vents and invest in a solar powered fan system to make sure you've got air moving to manage your humidity and kind of keep everything square. So just make sure you have that. But yeah, I got this off of Wayfair. This is 6x6x16. I got it back in the day, many, many moons ago for it was under $700 for this thing. So it was well worth the price there, especially at that price range. I'm not sure if you can get something there. And what I would say is, what I want you to do is think about, like for me, I'm going to be building a new greenhouse. I'm not sure if it's this year coming up, or it's going to be the following. But it needs to be wider. Like that's the one thing that I wish I had here was, the height is okay, but I'm going to build one out that's going to be wider, more square than anything. So that'd be the one thing I would just put out for you. Just consider that, consider having a, when you get your greenhouse, take that into consideration is what I'm trying to say. All right, there we go. Just kind of want to get these guys here. And again, this stuff here that I'm growing, this lettuce, this is just for my chicks, so they have fresh greens to grow on. Some, this stuff here is for me. Again, onions that are growing. And I'll come through and rotate those. And then this is other stuff that I have for the chicks, is round 2 of lettuce for the girls, so they can have this. So yeah, there we go. I think that'll do. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn this guy inside. And these guys are just going to hang out here. This is going to be their new favorite spot. They're going to be hanging out here for a while. So again, what I did is I have those clips right here. Again, this is hanging down. Again, this is off of Amazon. I think it was $60 for this. And it's full spectrum grow light. It's out of China. It is what it is. But it works real well. And, we like it. All right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to get my computer set up in the overhead camera, because it takes the longest time, or at least to make sure it's done correctly here. So, well, hopefully everybody's having a good day today. We're doing pretty awesome. You see the sun's out right now. I don't know if you guys can just tell how much it's brightened up and everything, but man, is it ever great when the sun gets in here. We'll be up to 65, 70 degrees here in a matter of minutes, and that's what we're looking for. So okay, so we're going to pull this out just a little bit. There we go. Same thing here. We don't want this guy directly up against that. Little lessons that I've learned over the years as I've been filming out here. This will be my 3rd year out in the greenhouse doing this stuff. So it's pretty excited. It's year 3 with the stream. I'm definitely digging it. Yeah, we're already up to like 52 degrees in here. Sun gets going here, and this greenhouse definitely does its thing. So it's insulated on 3 sides. I've got it on the east side, the west side, the north side here, all the way. And then I've got, on this side, we've got bubble wrap on this area up here. And then I've got, this is basically just foam. The same foam board that I have on the outside is right here. And I do this on this end too, because up until a week ago, I had snow stacked up this high against the side here because it was kept coming off of here. So there really isn't a lot of light that comes in down here. So I just keep the insulation board to keep it insulated. So that's why you see that. All right. Oops. Okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna clean this up here. It's my backup phone that I use so I can keep an eye on the chat. Kind of one of those things I figured out after watching another streamer. So that's there. This will be our next spot with lights here. And then thank you for hitting the hearts. I appreciate that. Thank you. So this would be where I want to set up, because we'll be doing over here. All right, so let's get my arm. I'm going to walk you guys through what I have here. So I have this setup here, which is a kind of a locked-in arm, right? Many different things that it kind of folds up and does the thing. So I can kind of set it up and place it exactly where I need it, right? And so it's kind of out of the way, which I think I'll do on, where do I have? Last year was a little bit of a struggle finding the spot here, but we'll get through it. So as far as things I'm growing this year, I've got a ton of flowers that I grow. So I grow a lot of marigolds for my mom. I've got zinnias. We have cleomes. I don't know if you guys know what cleomes are. We're gonna do some let me think here, some pansies and petunias as well. I've got some perennials that I have to do. I've got some echinacea and I got some aster I have to do also. I'm gonna want to have those done. I got neighbors that are asking for some stuff too. So there's that on the flowers. And then for the vegetables, this first round that we have are going to be brassicas. I'm going to get started with some beets. Lots of, so brassicas, again, for those that don't know, those brassicas are going to be your broccolis, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. I'd throw Swiss chard in there. It's not really one, but you have that and a whole bunch of lettuces. I got different lettuce and spinach, right? So I'll have those, and then I'll be starting a whole bunch of peas. I've got a system that I do with peas, which I think you guys will like, where it all just goes in. Yeah, lots of beets, lots of beets. I had a lot of requests for beets at the garden stand this year, and I did not have enough. So that's my fault, and we're going to correct that situation for sure. Ugh. What's going on here? Why aren't you loosening up? What's going on with that? So yeah, we'll have some beets. I do have turnips that I have, and but I direct sow turnips and radishes, parsnips, carrots, things like that. Those will be direct. So once I can start working the ground, which will be, in March or something. What is going on with this guy? Why are you being so silly? We have to get the wrench out for this. I don't know why that got ratcheted down so hard. Anyways, all right. Was it there? Where did I have this guy? Why is my brain not working today? Was there? I'll have to rethink this. What did I do last year? It wasn't this guy. It was this guy. Where did I put him? Oh, I think I had it sideways in here. I think that's what it was. Let's see. We're gonna test this out. So I had this arm. I'm trying to remember last year because it was on the other side and I had a different setup. So I want to make sure. Here, there. Okay, yeah, I think it was this. So I'm sorry about that. Ugh. Anything that's not fun to grow, man, there's some things that are just a real pain in the butt to get going. And then once they get started, everything's better, but they are definitely a pain to get started. So I guess in that camp would be, actually some cucumbers are a real pain to get started. Cucumbers, I definitely, I had a bumper year this year. I had, gosh, I want to say it was almost 14 bushels of cucumbers this year. It was pretty considerable. But they're a pain to get started sometime, and it has to do with the amount of sunlight that they get. And where I'm at, there's certain areas that I just don't. And yeah, I know, take pictures for next year. Well, next year, hopefully I've got a whole new setup, but yeah. You think it wouldn't be this hard, but again, you can leave it to me. If there's one thing you can pretty much take to the bank is I'm going to find a way to make it difficult. That is, yeah, so like that's what it was. That's what that was. That was the problem last year. Said this guy, because of the way the setup is. Come on, Ryan. What did I do? Did I have a spot? I may have to cut a piece out. I don't like that, but that may be what it is. So broccoli. Oh yeah, so broccoli for sure. But one of the things with broccoli you got to remember, what I would say is broccoli doesn't do well in heat. So it's one of those ones that you've got to get in when it's cold and be ready to adjust later. So let me think here. Come on, man. Man, why is my brain not working today? I've been in Christmas mode. I haven't been in this mode, and now I'm here doing this when I should be better focused on this. So think, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna be right back. Uno minuto. All right, I'm back, guys. So when in doubt, grab zip ties. So when in doubt, grab zip ties. I think that's what we're going to do here. So I am just going to find my spot here. Again, so we're going to have laptop. Let me get the laptop set up. Kind of plays off of that here. So appreciate y'all's patience on this. Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it. I'm on here to chat with folks. If I didn't want to chat with people, I wouldn't be streaming. So you're good. Don't you worry about me, about distracting me. So, all right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna zip tie this. You guys can't really see this here. We're gonna come on down here a little bit and change the angle. Here we go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna zip tie this right to the back side here. So zip tie, pin, body. Okay, now that sounds pretty interesting. All right, so what we want, I'm going to remove one of these here because I just need this guy for like this. Yeah, so we're going to take one of these guys off. This guy should come off. In theory. Yeah, there it is. Doesn't want to loosen up, but it is. Oh, come on. Or, well, whatever. I'm almost there. Is that it? That can't be it. Oh, that's it. Okay. Never mind. So we're just going to zip tie it like this. Right here. I need this guy here. What is going on with you this year? There we go. Let's do that. Right there. Gonna adjust it up. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna zip tie right there. Yeah, this is just one of those things where, again, I had a little bit different setup last year. It wasn't terribly different, but it definitely was a little bit different. So just got to work my way through it. And like I said, I'm glad you guys are all here hanging out with me while I'm figuring it out. This is one of those things, like I said, and for those that have been on the channel, been with me on the channel before, you'll know, and you've heard me say this, I intentionally do stuff on the channel live and just kind of fumble my way through it. One of the things that just drives me absolutely just crazy has to do with the way that so many of these YouTube videos are done, where it's hey, we're gonna do this, and then poof, and then you move on to the next step, and you don't actually see the struggles and how folks have to kind of rig stuff from time to time to make it work. And all that does is set really poor expectations and frustration for folks that are working on things, right? So we don't want that. We don't want that. We want to make sure that what we have here is ready to go. There we go. Get your butt in there, dude. All right, so this will be, I want to make sure it's there, and I can maneuver it around enough. The angle can be right. So let's bring it down to right about here. There we go. And again, if this doesn't work, we'll try something different, but this should work pretty well, I think. I think we're going to be okay. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that I do this, guys. You know, it's just a stream. We're hanging out. You know, it's one of my favorite things actually when I go on Twitch are the hangout streams. You know, it's cool to watch people play video games and stuff, but I really like to watch people, you know, just kind of hang out and just see what everybody's up to, especially when they're doing their setup on their in their area too. Because there's a lot of there's decisions that have to be made. They're important decisions. All right. I will catch up with the chat here in a second, I promise. Okay, cool. There's that guy. Yeah. All right. So there's one. And so with this, what I'll be able to do, just loosen this up a little bit. Lift this angle up some. Lock it in right there. And this frees me to have this guy right there. That's it. That's the winner right there, gentlemen and ladies. Anybody's watching? Cool. All right. And I'll kind of show you what this looks like here in a second because I've got my our camera that we'd be jumping in there. Look at that. And like I said, so you'll see this. I'll have the camera set up and it's looking directly down on top of the stuff we're doing. Bring this up a little bit here. There we go. But hopefully everybody, so again, for those that celebrate, hopefully your Christmas plans or whatever holiday season you have is going along well. You guys are moving along. The redhead and I, that's the wife. We were down at the down doing a little bit of shopping this morning just to take care of a couple things. And I tell you, it was not as packed as I expected it to be honest. So I don't know if that's because everybody is more on top of things than I am. It's probably the case. Or if it's because, you know, people may be not spending as much. I don't know. But we'll find out. All right, so what I have here is just a standard 720. I mean, it's 1080p, but you know, it's good luck getting. We all know 1080p is just made up. This is a 720 camera, and what this is, I set it up on top of this guy right here, there. What I do is this right here. You can see. Bring you guys a little closer. So we'll have the camera right here, right? And I can kind of adjust it where it needs to go. And then we'll have the vegetables and the stuff we're working on right here. So you can see me pruning and everything. So same thing if we're doing, like if we're doing review on seeds, like I do on this stuff right here. Right here, there we go. So if we're doing like reviews on seeds and everything, it will be overhead just like this saying, oh, look, here's a sunflower blend. Let's learn about this one. Or by the way, this Organo Republic, I'll be getting another pack of these here as well too. We run this was a really it's not sponsored. They don't give me any money. This is a really good. You can get off of Amazon. This 55 stuff is so good. Yeah. So it's good to see everybody. Hey, do me a favor, folks. When you hop in the chat, let us know where you're from. You know, and then again, hopefully earn your subscription. I'm here in Northern Michigan, and we are just working through stuff right now. Oh, hold on. No, can't, man. I'll tell you, you guys have got all the questions about our electric lettuce, and it's definitely not the thing. Oh, got my mom calling. She can wait. Tried to call her earlier. Fort Smith, man. I've been to Fort Smith. I taught at the army post there for a minute. That was a good time. I like that. I like that town. It's a nice town. I do like it. I wonder if I can. This should be enough. Last year I had to run a little bit of. Last year I had to run a little bit of a longer cord, but I think I can. Since I've got everything kind of like right here this year, I should be able to just run it in and connect it direct. Oh yeah, no, I talked to her earlier today. I talk to my mom almost every day. It was just I was driving. I called her back. We have a deer I think it's ready to go. It's going to be ready to go in the freezer tomorrow. I think that's all it is. That's the thing. But yeah, no worries. I got my mom. We're all set there. Thank you though. By the way, if y'all haven't called your moms and you have a good relationship with your mom, make sure you call your mom. Okay. If you don't have a good relationship, I understand. You do you. But if you have one, give her a call. Where did my oh, there's my coffee. So we have a coffee shop as well, and our roaster, stateandmain.coffee, if you ever want to check it out, gave us some a winter blend for our stuff this year. Basically a thank you this year, and it's pretty darn good. Just ground it up to brew some for this afternoon. Yum yum yum. They're called Dark Water Roasters. They're out of Hart, Michigan. So if you happen, all right, so what we're gonna do is turn this guy. That's the one thing with this particular laptop has always been the light. So I'm gonna have this one set up, but I don't know if. Oh, okay. Always waiting for a call. I know. I got both my daughters are out living their best lives on opposite sides of the country. I have one in California, one in Maine. And they're good about calling. I will give them that. They are good about calling. I don't always want to hear what they have to say, but I think that's just more of a dad thing than anything else. But it's always good to hear from them. They do a good job of making sure that they're calling. So one of the things so we're testing out. So what I have here, and one of the cameras that I use here, this is a OBS bot. It's a it's a 4K camera that I'll be streaming from, and it also has AI. It follows me and it has tracking. But we're just going to kind of have it up here right now just to test it out. So you guys will be able to see me in all of my 4K beauty that I offer. So, let's see here. My wife's mom died 2 years ago. Oh yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. Send obviously send best wishes for me and the redhead that direction. That's so hard to hear. That's the one thing, and folks, this is the one thing that I will tell you, and that we do not do a good enough job preparing our kids for, that our parents didn't do a good enough job preparing us for, is watching our parents age. Like that is, I remember when I left for the military, and I came back for the first time. I was gone for a year and a half. That's it, just a year and a half. And I just remember I remember seeing my mom when I got back, and I was like, oh man, and I'm gone just a year and a half, but it's still a year and a half. I was like, oh my goodness, she got old on me. Like, all the things that happen. And you just, Alex Navy, yeah. Awesome. Thank you as always, thank you for your service. Everyone else, thank you for your tax dollars. We all appreciate you. Everybody did your thing. So, with that, it's just one of the things, and I didn't do a good enough job with my kids. I'm going to, obviously I'm going to be talking to them about that. It's just, we want to make sure that the next generation, I don't want that to pass on. Like, just understand that it's, redhead's my wife. Yeah, the redhead is my wife. I just refer to her as the redhead. I have for our anniversary was last year, so for 27 years I've referred to her as the redhead. So that's always on me. Cyril's forward, yeah. So again, I just appreciate but with that, I would just, for all of us out there, all of us, let's do a better job. Let's do a better job and prepare our kids just so that they know, hey, this is something that happens, so that they can be prepared for it. So that's the one thing I will have to do on that, because of the weight. That'll have to be adjusted. That's okay. We can adjust that. That's going to be fine. We'll see what it looks like. Cool. I love it. You guys hey, give yourselves like thumbs up and hearts and all the good stuff in the chat, man. Y'all are good. Y'all a good chat. I love my chat. Y'all are great. You guys got like the best attitudes in here. You know what I mean? We ain't trying to throw any shade. We don't mind a little trolling every now and again, but there you go. Let's give ourselves some loves in there. That was, you tell me where a chat you've had has been that wholesome and that goodness. Good. Appreciate y'all. That was great. So I wonder. That's the one thing here, is just because of the All right, so let's get full figured out first. Why are you so small? All right, so what I'm working on here is, so I have OBS. It's kind of hard to see on this because I have dark mode for everything. I've got my protective screen on this guy that I don't know if it's going to make a difference, so it's going to have to come off. Ah, it stinks. I can always put it back on. That's fine. Always put it back on another day. So I have my privacy screen here, polarized deal that I use when I travel. I guess I got to take it off for now. Okay, there we go. Man, that's like 1,000,000% better. Okay, so what I'm doing, if you guys haven't seen OBS, this is my broadcast software that I have on the computer. It's what a lot of the streamers use. We all to be able to have multiple cameras, manages the microphone, right, that I got here. It all runs through this, and they actually, most of the streamers, most people on YouTube, they use OBS and some variation thereof. So what I'm looking for. Come here. What are you doing here, man? Okay, there we go. Stop acting out. All right, here's my overhead properties. It's plugged in. I'm going to switch over to my eMeet. Oh, kind of got to take the lens cap off, Ryan. There we go. So once I have this up here, I'll kind of show you guys here. There you go. Maybe you guys come over my shoulder. If I was, let's see. I know this is going to be just real quick, kind of show you what I'm working on next. So again, what we're building out here. So here's my, obviously my laptop. I probably can't see it too well in there, maybe a little bit, but a big portion is going to be configuring the video on this. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the brightness down, because this is that. I think this was the thing last time, was going to be the no gain. Oh, wait, no, wait. Actually, what was it? The white balance. Oh, what just happened here? Get out of here, Claude. Oh, exposure. That's what it was. I wanted me to fix that brightness back where it was. It was the exposure. That's what it was. So this thing. Okay. Listen here, Claude. I know you're trying to connect to stuff. We're not going to do this today. By the way, Claude, I'm busy grumping about my Claude there. Claude is my. There we go. See, we got the exposure. And there we go. Look at that. Greened right up on us. Ugh. So you can see, like, this is the overhead view that you guys will have when we're doing this, right? And so we'll be coming in here like, oh, look, we want to take a look. This one in particular, see how it's got the blah, blah, blah. And I won't rip them out, but you guys get it. So we'll have this overhead thing here. That's kind of what we're doing. All right. But to do that, there's stuff you have to do, because I'm just using my, so we'll do it like this. I'm not worried about you guys seeing me. Here we go. Trying to get it so there isn't too much shade on here. Okay. So there's that. So that can be applied. All right. So that, okay, we're good. Just stop it. Go away already. Okay. So here's our green. And then you guys can see, like, here's me. Okay. I'm going to change that camera up, the view. Okay. So here's one of the things. I've got to make it bigger. There we go. And so that's what you'll see. So like, well, hey guys, so here's what we got going on. So you got me down here in the corner, here. And then every now and again, I'll drop one of these things on there, right? Because we love doing this. Oh, hey, no worries. Yeah, like I said, when I'm on here, I like to be able to just kind of show everything. I think it's important. But you can see when we're going to come in here, it's important. I always like to make sure you guys can kind of see what's going on here, because too often we're here, the way I look at this, and again, is my responsibility with this, is that this is meant to be for teaching, right? This is what we want to be teaching out of here. And if I don't have it set up to teach, well, what's the point of being in here, right? I mean, I'm here to work, obviously, and stuff too, but so so this is greenhouse full. So this is, I got to, and we're going to switch this over, actually. I'm going to switch this camera. the OBS bot. That's this guy. We're going to change it over to the OBS Tiny, and you should see, where you at, friend? Got it, just go away. Bring up this guy. And this is why I'm going to want to do in here is I'm trying to get my, all right, so you guys bring you back over here, kind of give you a better view here. Back into the goodness here. What I'm trying to get to is make sure that I have this set up. So when it's time to come in here, like, 'cause I work all day, you know, so I'm a business coach by trade. I work with small, medium-sized businesses. I help them get ready to, you know, basically, I help them grow faster than they realized it was possible. And I'm also an exit planner, so I help people get their businesses ready to sell. So that's my day job. I have a coffee shop I'm a part owner in, and I'm getting ready to buy another building with a salon. So I have a lot of businesses, right? Then a lot of moving parts. So when I come in here to work and do the stuff here in the greenhouse, because this is, you know, this is work for me, and it's also like a hobby. I want to be able to get in here and get right after it. You know what I mean? So that's a big piece here. All right. So this one, I don't know, maybe that cable doesn't want to work today. That has been a struggle for a minute, is to get the right cables lately too. For whatever reason, these cables are being, I've got power cables and data cables are getting mixed up. And we don't like that. We don't like that around here. So, but hopefully y'all have been, you know, have taken a moment during this time frame to remember the season and all the stuff there. It's one of the things that it's one of my favorite things, is just to be able to come back and during this time of year, take a moment to reflect, connect. There we go. Come on, buddy. This guy hasn't been a pain for a while yet. Here we are. There we go. All right, 4K. Oops. Yeah, well, so that's the thing. I'm monetized too. So like when I say, like, you know, do this for work, you know, there's a lot of this where you know, I do, like, I have a veggie stand. I grow a lot of stuff here in my garden that I put out for the neighborhood, basically, to be able to, you know, it's a donation only. You know, I do make good money on it. Same thing with the flowers and the veggies that I have here, but I'm monetized. So like, you know, I make money on these videos too. So, and I treat this like work, and I want to make sure I'm respecting you all on here. And that's, you know, part of the reason why I do the stuff that I do is specifically to make sure that we've got this thing set up in a way that is respectful to you guys. Face, there we go. There we go. Cool. All right. So that is up and running now. Good, good, good. So that's what I mean when I, like, you know, for money making and stuff like that. So there's overview, greenhouse full. Here. All right. Sorry, I'm just adjusting a couple things here. Okay, so we just got to do this. Let me turn the tracking. And the other thing too, what's nice about this camera too, like I said, it's got tracking. So it follows me around, and I'm able to, like, adjust things in and out by my hand movements, which is great. So hey, thanks, Tony. Appreciate that. So what I'm doing right now, again, for those that are not here, I during January, February, March, we're in the greenhouse here. We are working on flowers. I'm up in northern Michigan. Flowers and vegetables, getting ready for my garden out here. And I come here live on YouTube. So what we're doing today is really just kind of moving my stuff around and getting the setup squared away. Like, that's kind of today. It's just kind of a chill stream, more in Q&A. So absolutely. But what you guys are watching currently is we were just on there setting up my camera to be able to have me on here as well too. So that's that piece. And I've got it set to like uber close zoom. So it's like all of my mug is all up in this thing. Narrow, wide. which that has to get adjusted out a little bit. Which we'll get squared away. Okay, cool. So this guy's set up. We can do overhead and view. Yep. So you guys can see my hands here, see my face. Oh man, we're gonna be dangerous, folks. We're gonna be dangerous. This is all up and running. I do have. Yes, I have. That's a great question. Where I help individuals who have businesses that are growing. I have one-on-one coaching that I do. I have quite a few Zoom people throughout the country that call into me, and we get on calls on a consistent basis. If you want to learn more about what I do, summitbusinessguides.com. Summit Business Guides, like GUIDES.com. You can go check me out there. Plants come to Magical Pixie. They don't come to your house to die. That's not what they do. Come on now. Now they may die there. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but they don't come there to die. They come there to have to do their thing, to try to experience some love and caring, and it's okay. Sometimes it happens. But here's the deal. One of the standard things that we have here in the greenhouse or on the channel is we don't worry. Worrying attracts squash bugs. So we just don't do that. We don't worry about stuff. I've had plenty of years where my plants didn't make it. Like I've lost over half of all my stuff due to power outage, right? I have a man, what are you doing there? Sorry, I got a chunk of my greenhouse. Get up here, you. There we go. I still have to attach. And one of my panels blew out, and that's a prime example here. One of my panels blew out the other day, and I had to replace it. I lost half of my stuff because I had a power outage. So the heater went out and dropped below zero. Well, I mean, it was not below zero, it was below freezing. I think it was like almost 12 outside. So all the stuff basically died, wilted out, and most of it didn't recover. And then it just went like this. Okay, I guess we're just doing that. I guess we're starting over, and that's all you can do. It's okay. It happens. But at the end of the day, the goal is let's make it a little bit better, right? That's what we want to do. So if you can, let's do that. All right. So next up on the list here is going to be running from my highly triangulated and worked out electrical panel that I have here. Just going to run power down to this thing. So no, it's not. It is not. I got people for that, guys. I have people for electric lettuce. I do not need to grow it. Yeah, I take care of vegetables and everything. And a big part of what I do is really just for my community here as well. Like it's important to me to make sure that I am, I'm taking care of my community. And so that's why I have the greenhouse. That's big, why I do what I do is to make sure that we can get food out there. I told you it is, I mean, it has to do a lot with the name of the channel, right? I mean, it's easygoing growers. Everyone says growers is right. And, that's funny because, and I knew that when I had it, it was going to get some people on there and it was going to be a constant thing. Whatever. I grew up on the internet. If I'm not getting trolled, I'm gonna lose faith in the next generation. Because if you're not on the internet getting a little crap, right? You can teased a bit. Like all right, come on, what's the point, right? But anyways, I digress. As we move on, I'm just gonna set this guy to on. Hit him with the lights back there. So yeah, so there's that. All right, so a couple things just for you guys to be aware of here. One of the things that if you have a greenhouse that you're gonna need, guaranteed, like you have to have, you don't have to have, but you kind of have to have, are these are growing mats. If you haven't seen these, warming mats, growing mats. So what they do, right, that they get warm, what they do, get out of there, guys. So they sit underneath your seeds, right? Where you have them, like here in your pods, right? They'll be in the whole system. They'll sit underneath there and they stay warm. And what they do is they heat the the soil that you're in, the entire thing, up to 70 degrees. They keep it at 70 degrees. And that's where almost every single seed what needs to be around 70 degrees in the soil for it to germinate. Okay, so if you're ever having trouble with that, where I do not have any cats, my neighbor does though. So if you've ever had trouble with getting stuff to germinate, been trying to grow, most of the time what the problem is that the soil was too cold. Like that's really what it is. So get you a warming mat, set it up, and you'd be amazed at how quick your stuff will germinate. Okay, and that's where that's one of the biggest problems that we run into, and I've just seen that consistently with folks is that what they don't do is have their warming mats. And you know, they work in concert with let's see, here we go. So for instance, like this here, this is a pretty standard setup that you're going to get at your local big box store. Is a 72 pod, and these are all basically 1-inch pods right there set up here. And it's dirty. I mean, these all have to be washed out still from last year. But they'll basically just sit underneath here, and you get a little greenhouse inside of this where it warms up. The one thing that I would tell you, and just warn everybody on this, if you do have a greenhouse and you do use these, you want to make sure that this is out of direct sunlight and it has a grow light over it, versus having it up and having sunlight hit it, because this will turn into a supercharged greenhouse. It'll get up to 120, 140 degrees inside of here, and it'll roast your seeds. It'll basically, yeah, they'll be roasted and they won't germinate. Okay, so this is really the setup, and I have a whole bunch of these, and this is really what we're gonna be filling out over the next few months, and we're gonna be rotating them through. So the process that we'll be going through, guys, just to kind of walk you through this here, is I have every stream, we're gonna go through my let's see here. I do not. But anyways, so what did I say here? So every stream what we're going to go through is really the following. We're going to go over the prep that we have to get stuff ready. We're going to go over how I mix up, and we're going to mix every single stream. We're going to mix up my version of potting mix that I use for the plants we're doing. There's an entire process for it that we walk through every single time, and it's one of those things that the more people learn it, the more people see it, just the more they're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna go through that, and then, oops, where are we at? Where'd I go? Did I lose me? There we go. Then we're going to go over the seed themselves, right? Because they have on the package, like as an example. Let's go here and pull one of do we have an unopened one? I do. All right, for pumpkin, I have mystery, like surprise pumpkins that grow every year. I haven't planted pumpkins intentionally in 3 years. They just grow out here because I have half the pumpkins that I grow, I don't do anything with. I just let them go and basically rot and just go back and feed the soil. Well, wherever they happen to land or where the chickens spread them to, the seeds germinate. So anyways, we're going to go through and talk about the different seed that we're going to be doing. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go through the entire back so you understand exactly what all this different stuff means and how to get more information from it. We're going to go through, inspect the seeds, and then go through the process of actually how to plant them. Prepare the actual soil, plant the seed, cover the seed, make sure everything's watered and correct every single time. Like that's one of the things that we do on every one of the streams. So you don't have to worry about missing a stream here or a stream there, because every stream is really during the greenhouse time, and during the first phase is that way. And then we have our pruning streams, which was very similar. That's why we have the overhead, right? So we're going to be going in, and we're going to then come through, and I'm going to show you how to properly thin all your seedlings up. We're going to go through, and so by the way, realist, where are we at here? So Scott, Jesse, all the folks that are talking about the electric lettuce and the pot there, right? The word is weed, right? That it grows naturally. That's one of the things that I think a lot of folks, my area, everyone here knows that. I don't need to grow it like that. You can take the seeds and just toss them. It grows. We're in a very, very loamy area. I mean, you can just let the stuff run. So it's good. So it's nothing I have to grow on here. Okay. So, but yeah, it's, I don't want to grow both anyways. This is here for vegetables and everything else. Although, again, there's a lot of good channels for that. And you can find those guys here too. So yeah. Um, yeah, I wish I could grow ram trips chips too. My goodness, I saw the prices that they got out there right now. Holy crap. That is insane. You can trade them, I know, right? So anyways, when we get into the pruning part of it, and this is where I see a lot of individuals struggle when they're starting their gardens up and they're starting to get into growing their own, is they don't they prune, they either don't prune and they don't thin, so that means that their plants are going to be they're going to grow incorrectly, like it not efficiently, effectively. And if you don't thin, you're definitely going to be. They're all going to be struggled, and they're going to be struggling and undersized. So we go through and really talk about how to identify which ones to keep, which ones to lose. So we're going to go through that. He's talking by Ram Chips, talking about computers. There's this whole thing that's going on right now where the price, if you can even find them, the prices are insane. It's not even like you can't even build a computer now because of the cost. It's just insane. Yeah. So that's funny you had that on there. That's actually really funny. I was talking to somebody this week about that. So no, 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 no. Hey, we don't use words like that. Not an idiot. You just didn't know. It's okay. You're not an idiot. You just weren't aware. That's completely different. Don't worry about that. We don't use those words on yourself, okay? You got this. It's just you didn't know. It's okay. You had they're guaranteed there's stuff you know that we don't. And it's fine. Okay. So, anyways, we're gonna be hey, by the way, do me a favor when you guys hop in the chat. Hi everybody, welcome. Make sure you're letting us know where you're at. It's super important. We have so many people that are from around the world that hop on these chats. It's just fun to have on here. Um, so anyways, while we're going to go through and we're going to be doing our pruning, it's really important to learn. Again, if you've never done it, we're going to walk you through it. It's nothing to stress about. Again, we don't worry. Worrying attracts squash bugs, so we don't do that here. That being said, it's going to be the best chance to be successful right now. That's what we want to have. So we go through that spot and then we get into transplanting. Okay. So what I want all of you to see here is this guy. Where is he at? I just saw him. Here, is this him? No, that's not him. Here he is. All right. So when you buy this, and again, this is not sponsored. I just really like these guys. And you buy this set here, this Organo Republic off of Amazon. I'm going to pick up another version. Like I said, it comes with tools, and it comes with like this tool, this little widgety, scoopy tool thing. Now this tool, you don't need to go and buy just to get this thing, but just look at the shape, right, that they have here. You can use a spoon, but it came with this tool. I use it. It's designed to come in and scoop out the actual 1-inch pods all in one shot. That's what it's there to do. Okay, so we come in and we scoop this when we're doing transplanting, right? So we got transplanting will be going on, and we move from the 1-inch pods right here, these 1-inch, we bump up immediately into these pints. All right, and it's so here's what I want you to imagine. So we have 72, 144, 288 of these things at any given time, and more are going to be filled, and they're all going to be maturing right on a very similar schedule. This entire area is going to be filled to the gills, to the gills, rafters. Let's call them rafters. Filled to the rafters with pints. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to be going on there. So, okay, Western City, outstanding. Yeah, so I spent a little time in Germany. I was not in that area there. So, but yeah, well, good to have you on here. Welcome. Hopefully you guys are, hopefully things are going well there. I've been seeing some of the economic stuff coming out of Germany. I know it's been a little struggle over there for your industry, car industry as well. So I'm hoping that turns around for y'all over there. But so that's where we're going to move in. Once we're into this spot here, and so this is the thing. Once we're into these, then it's a matter of time to where they can kind of do their own thing. If they need to grow into larger ones, we will. But they can stay in this size for a couple months as they're growing and maturing. And as soon as I can, they're out into the garden. And I have stuff here that as long as it doesn't, the temperature isn't going to drop below 28, 27 for most of like your brassicas, your lettuce, spinach, things like that. As long as you cover them up, they'll be fine. I've had stuff in here where it's been down to 26 degrees. They get a little bit frostburnt on some of the spots here, but they do just fine. Okay, so that's kind of the idea. Now, I don't use indigenous soil, and what I would tell everybody, you don't want to use indigenous, like your actual native soil in your anything you're doing inside the greenhouse, anything that's going to be inside of and like one of these pots. And the reason being is that it has to be able to drain. Like that's the biggest thing. And what you find with a lot of your local soils, unless it's even when the ones that are really loamy, what they do is they tend not to drain. They clog and they pool. Where potting mix, your potting mix here is specifically designed because it's got percolite in there. It's got all this other stuff in here. It's designed to retain moisture but allow the water to flow out. Right. So that's one of the biggest things. You'll end up killing more plants than you do. So definitely want to make sure that you, yeah, exactly. You want to make sure that you have stuff here. Is it immigrant? That's too great. Yep. So one of the things that you'll find is most folks that work in a greenhouse and they have a greenhouse, after a while, they build the thing that works best for them. So do you do a land to the indigenous tribes for the use of so no, we actually have an agreement. I have the tribe, they actually own the land across from me. It's the little Indian, it's the what is it? I'm trying to remember the exact phrase here. It's a longer thing here. It's a band, it's a Little Indian River, it's a Little Indian River Band of Indians. That's what it is. And they're across the street. They own 180 acres across here. Beautiful cemetery. We have an agreement. I take care of their corner to make sure it stays within stuff here within the village, and we're good. So we're fine. So anyways, one of the reasons that I brought this stuff over for you guys to see is almost everybody who works in a greenhouse, they end up finding their own mix that they like, and I'm no different. I like to use potting mix, but I don't like to use this stuff straight. I like to cut it. Right? Just like anybody who knows, right? You always want to cut it. The last thing you want is pure. And what I use in here is I've got this cocoa noir, right? This coconut husk. It comes packed in these bricks that you have to rehydrate. And what you do is I have a mix that I use. It's a ratio that I'll put into those ahead of time, mix it up. What that cocoa noir does is it doesn't necessarily bring any nutrients to the table, but it holds on to moisture and it provides structure. That's one of the big thing with there. And it allows me to spread out this potting mix because for the most part, they're going to be in this for just this little while. And then once they get out here, I have the way that I use my soil, I build up a lot. The biome that I have in my soil is chock full of all the nutrients and goodness that they need. So they're in a short period here to get them rolling. They get a little bit of the nutrients from the potting mix, and then they're out there for the good stuff. So, yep. See here. Yep. Oh yeah, core. Yeah, my bad. Sorry. Go to Publix. I love Publix, man. They have the best produce. When I was down in the Southeast, man, it was always one of my favorite things was to find me a Publix. I have never had a bad experience at a Publix. So good. Oh, yeah, but I'm telling you, but I'll pay money for especially if I'm traveling, I'll pay money for a good produce section like Ralph's out in Southern California. I won't go like everyone says you should go to Erewhon. I'm like I'm not going to spend $400 for like 5 grapes over in that place, but Ralph's is really good, and that's one of those I tend to judge my grocery stores by how their produce sections are. So. My daughter is a nutrients and they aren't necessary. Well, yeah, yes and no. And I get into that during the channel. I use my what I have as far as the composting and stuff the compost and the work that I do on the soil, specifically making sure I keep it covered and I've got something growing in it at all times when I can. has a lot to do with actually the nutrient levels that I have, and also the plants that I have growing, are specifically there to pull up, let's say, calcium and potassium further down. I got stuff that I grow that has the deeper roots to pull stuff up that I then put into my compost to put back in. So, yeah, yes, and no, I understand what you're saying, but for most folks, so and oh yeah, actually, so it's funny. This actually was one of my clients. They Lake Michigan Senior Living. Yeah, they got this for me as a goodness thing. So, um, you can, yes, absolutely, you sure can. These are all things that you can absolutely do. I listen. I got what you're saying. As we're going through this, I have compost streams and I have soil working streams where we get in and we're talking about all the stuff there. So, yeah, you're 100. Again, you're spot on. But for the average folks here, as we're developing them, we get to that spot here. So, but all right. So with that, next on the list here is I'm not worried about testing these because the other thing too, when you buy these, your warming mats that you have, what I would say is I bought a 12 pack of them. I rarely ever have 12 going at a time because once the seeds germinate, right, and everything's sprouted, you can take them off the warming mats. You can keep them on there if you want. It does help a little bit, but once they germinate, the plants know what to do. They're good as long as they're at a decent temperature. And like I said, it stays here. I have this my heating system that I have here kicks on at 40 degrees. So this greenhouse is always between 40 and during the day it'll be up to 90 degrees in here because I have another system that kicks on at 90 degrees to pull air out to manage those things. So yeah, if you go, yeah, absolutely. So again, Jesse, if you go look on my on the actual channel page, and you'll find compost stuff where I'm doing it live, and again I do the education stuff right through. I have 4 large, and let's go for a walk, guys. Why not? You guys want to go check out the compost area? Why not? Let's do that. Been standing in here for a little minute. Let's go outside. By the way, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate everybody who has been hanging out so far. So, but it's a little chilly out here. Let me give you this here. To give you the quick little tour. So I've got here, these are my, again, where I have as far as raised beds are right outside the greenhouse here. Right, you can see the green. That's what I was talking about this. Oh, you're very welcome. This is, the system that it pulls basically the hot air out, pushes cold air in through here. And it's solar powered. These are my raised beds that I have here. And you can see where I have, tomatoes. We had our tomatoes growing here. And again, I leave everything in here. Like for instance, like these marigolds. By the way, if you've never figured out how to get marigold seeds, it's really simple. See this dead head right here? You just pull it out. Ugh. There you go. There's your marigold seeds, everybody. Whole bunch of marigold seeds right there. Anyways, so I like to leave all that in there, just let it do its thing. This is my garden, chickens and everything is right there. But let's go take a look at the compost area here. Burn barrel doing its thing. Over here, underneath all of this is where my strawberries are at. This is the veggie stand, kind of been taken apart here. And then these are my compost bins here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now, kind of walk you guys through this here. So these over here, this one, and all that. Those are just leaves that I use for compost. So that's my brown matter that I have. So you guys can just see here, this is just the brown matter doing its thing. And then down here is where I've got my compost. I don't even know if that thermometer's still in there. Probably isn't. Is it in there? No, I took it out. But you can see my compost. This has been here for a little bit, kind of doing its thing, but it's gone dormant. It's obviously been chilling. We've been down around 0 degrees, but just kind of leaving it there for a while. But we do compost streams. It usually takes about an hour and a half to do all my compost that we have. Like I was mentioning earlier, guys, this is my shed where I've got my 200 watt system up here for power. Definitely recommend those. They're well worth it. You get a lithium battery and just kind of have it hanging out there. All right, so then So you cover things with a tarp, specifically to maintain moisture. I have it covered in a tarp during the summer. Let me bring it back over here. So during the summer, I keep stuff covered with the tarp to keep the moisture, not necessarily in the heat, right? Because it's going to be up to around 140, 150. The more heat you have, just the better, right? But we do that specifically with that tarp. It's mainly just for maintain the moisture levels. So this garden that I have here, I've got trying to think here. So this is 25 by 50, this garden. And what I've got, chickens have been in here. They've been stuck. These guys, they've been stuck inside forever and a day. So I just kind of have them out here messing stuff up. So with this here, you see I got leaves on top of this. I dump a ton of leaves on top of my every single year. Does it work good for? Yeah, it does. Absolutely. It does enough for me. It's like I said, I'm not trying to power everything with it. It's got its purposes where, it does run. A lot of it's for charging my tools to make sure they're ready to go during the summer. And I keep, like right now, it's trickle charging my my mower, so I don't have to worry about that. Like that's a big piece. And if I need to run the heater for whatever reason, it'll run the heater for a little bit too. But yeah, so that's kind of where that. The next one that I have is going to have compost built into the side of the greenhouse, so to basically warm it that way. So that's going to be the next spot. So anyways, we got here in the chicken run. Hey girls, that's honey mustard. I just dropped off some fresh wood chips for them there, so they're going to be spreading those around for the next little bit. But we're going to be building a new one of those. I actually got to check for eggs real quick. We can kill a couple of birds. I don't want to say that. We can take care of that while we're out here. I don't want to say two birds with one stone for birds, right? Okay. So anyways, let's come out over here and just see. I don't know. Oh yeah, there you go, guys. Got some eggs for me. It's that time of year where you got to get them every single day too. But they're in there just doing their thing, living their best life. So, so I'm going to be growing these pumpkins this year too. I got this from the local market and I just want it out here decomposing. So to be ready to go next year. I thought these looked really sharp. I really like those. So I'm going to grow those this year. I think they look pretty nice. But other things that I did here too, I just think you guys appreciate this, is I got this set up. It's it's solar powered, basically automatic door for the chickens so they can go up and down for them. Highly recommend it. Oh man, is that ever great. Because before I had it, I was having to come out here in the morning and then in the evening and just, I'm trying to do all that stuff. I love my chickens, but I also like sitting on the couch. You know what I mean, right? So have that. Other stuff just for you guys to wear. So when it comes to the greenhouse, you can just see I've got it insulated on the sides here, side up over here, all three sides. So I don't grow any peppers. That's the one thing I don't grow. And it's for a very, I don't use a lot of peppers in cooking. I just don't. So, and peppers are cheap. Also, they just kind of fall into that equation here. So that's kind of the other thing that I'm looking at, growing some stuff. So, okay, so there's that. Last thing for you guys that are looking to put together where'd I go here? Oh, that one died on me. I got to flip you guys around. So we're going to be backwards here. So I want to make sure I can keep an eye on the chat. Which is really good, by the way. For bees, I have a neighbor, 3 houses down, they have beehives. So I have, my entire garden is ringed with, I'm trying to think. I have echinacea and black-eyed Susans as well, all the way around. I have perennials everywhere to make sure we can bring in all the pollinators. It's just, it's the thing with peppers for me. Yeah, absolutely. So, but with that, what I want you guys to talk about. So if you guys are considering a greenhouse, that's where it kind of comes back to on this, guys, is if you're considering a greenhouse. By the way, hopefully, again, I'm asking well, but if you guys haven't, hopefully I earned your subscription today. I know we're backwards now. I had to flip it around. My other camera died out there. But if not, just hit the thumbs up, and I appreciate all those things. So thank you for all that. If you have a greenhouse, what I would definitely recommend is spend the money, obviously. Thank you. Get yourself a little heater here. This is the Vivo Sun that I have. But that's a little heater. But what you want to have is find the version that has a thermostat for it. right? That you can set this thing up to where this kicks on at 40 degrees. So that way, most of the time it's not running, but then it kicks on when it needs to, and it's well worth it. And that's probably been the biggest thing that I would tell folks if you're looking to get a greenhouse, if you're in the northern tier like I am, unless you engineer your greenhouse in a way like you've got compost, or if you have okay, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate everybody who's subbing. Thank you so much. I just went over like 2,000 folks earlier this week, so it's pretty amazing to have folks here. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much on that. And but anyways, if you don't engineer your greenhouse with a way to have heat, i.e. passively, where you have um trying to think here, where you have a heat sink, right, where you actually put some heat down in the ground and bring it back up, or if you don't have compost in there, you're going to have to heat it in the evening. It's just it's going to have to be that way. And what I found is this has been really great. It's been a very trustworthy little guy here that has kicked out heat, and it's protected my stuff for multiple years. That's why I just have it on here. But the biggest thing is you got to make sure you have a thermostat for it. It's not a timer thing. You never know like really what's going to happen, especially like if the wind's blowing. Um, there's all sorts of variables that kick up on a greenhouse because they're not meant to be sealed, right? Greenhouses aren't sealed. So you have to be able to manage the heat and the humidity in one way, shape, or form. And especially like in the wintertime, if the wind's blowing, you're going to lose the heat just through all this stuff here. So that being said, heater is definitely worth it. Okay. Well, folks, the sun's going down here. I do some of this, yes, depending, like when I start getting a little bit closer to end of February into March, we just don't have enough sun this time of year. So, I don't necessarily get like full charges on those. I got to make sure because I can't drain my batteries all the way down. But when I get towards the latter part of the the winter season, early part of the spring, I absolutely run it off of the greenhouse over there, or the shed. Yep, absolutely, and it does just fine. So, but the biggest thing is that you got to make sure you have enough batteries. Like that's the thing. Even with like that system that I have for the solar panel, you just keep adding batteries, and that's like every year I just throw another battery on there. Eventually, you know, knock on wood, I should be able to run year round off of that, but I have to have enough batteries, and then I can just add more solar panels too. So that's the thing. So, okay. But anyways, those are the big things here, guys. Appreciate everybody. Like I said, today was really just kind of a setup day for everybody here. I'm glad you all got a chance. We always try to do a little tour. You guys haven't seen the full property yet. I have an orchard on the other side of the house, small little orchard. And then obviously we've been doing stuff for our holiday outdoor decorations as well too, that you can go see videos on that also. You can kind of see what we do here. But I appreciate everybody who's subscribed so far today. I appreciate everybody who's come back. It's always great to have you guys on here. Again, we are within a week and a half, 2 weeks of how much do I have? Like, how much did I spend? Is that what you're asking? Like, how much money in the greenhouse? Oh wait, and I'll come back to that answer when you answer that there. But yes, okay. So yeah, so the greenhouse itself, I think was 700. It was under 700 from Wayfair. It's 6x7x16. So there's that. Maybe $200 on the insulation in total. I think maybe 200, if that, in the hardware. And I have a video on that. If you go and search for insulating a greenhouse, you'll see a picture of me, and it says foam or bubble wrap, right? That's how I did all this thing. You can go see that video. It's on the channel too. Go see that. So there's that. These were all built out of studs and stuff I had around here. I had extra cattle wire, but just to put the math on here, this is probably $40 worth of stuff here for the shelving. I got these tiles. They have tiles that are on the floor. The wife wants one. Yeah, no, they're worth it. I'm telling you, they're worth it. But again, it's over time. That's what I say. This taking me years to kind of build this thing up to this point, So if you do it all in one shot, it's obviously going to be more expensive. So then the tile that I have on here, I got it discounted. It was marked down at one of the box stores. It was in a pallet that nobody wanted. I just came in and I was like, I think it was like $70, $60 for all of this stuff. So I had a bunch there. Trying to think here, what else is there? And the grow lights, our grow lights, all of the stuff for the pots that I'm using. Let's throw in another maybe $300. So all in, maybe like $1,100, $1,200, give or take. And nope. Again, go back to that. Don't grow that. I say I got people for that. Yeah, I got people for that. You don't need that. So, but anyways, here coming up. Thank you for that question. So I appreciate everybody's on here. So in the next couple weeks, we're going to be out here live on a consistent basis, starting all of our flowers and starting some perennials and getting them rolling. So with that, if you want to learn and see the whole process from beginning to end and just understand that, and be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, right? Because I typically, the way the schedule is going to look, give or take, is going to be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then there's going to be Saturday and or Sunday streams. Okay, so those are the big piece here yet. So the bubble wrap, honestly, this stuff here, by the way, this bubble wrap is stuff from Amazon. It's just perforated. It's good. I get that question almost every time. It's just stuff you get for packing, right? So, and the stuff I get, it's actually perforated too, right? And you just throw it on there. It's really only good for one season, guys, because the UV rays destroy this stuff. It ends up turning into powder. It just kind of disappears. So it works okay. And then, like saying, I have also here, I guess this is the other thing too. I have this, it's a HVAC wrap. It's reflective. So it keeps the temperature out, but it also reflects the lights back down here as well. So, but yeah, it's kind of where we're at, guys, here. So if you guys, again, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and everybody who's hit like as well, I definitely appreciate it. So with that, take care. I'll see you guys next time.